It's Chat Chat, where we discuss all the goings on, rounding up the game week in the Championship, the greatest league in the world. So with me, I've got Olly from, he's from social media. So cool. Teams Like Luton. Hello. And I've got Wedge.
Hello.
Yeah, good stuff. Good weekend. Yeah, it's been a good weekend. It always looks better. It always looks better with a win. But you know what? It's had ramifications. We're Luton fans, by the way. It's had ramifications on the relegation battle, the playoff push, and the promotion chase. It's been fascinating. It really has. Where's a good place to start with this one? I think Friday night is a good one because it has ramifications for both the playoff battle and the autos. Really,
yeah.
Because it's Sheffield United go top with a 3-1 win. And
seemed comfortable.
It was. I would say that is probably the best Sheffield United have played all season. And we've been hard on Sheffield United. Me in particular, I've been hard on Chris. I would say it's football for football's sake. It's very austere football. Score a goal, defend, don't do anything special. But this, 3 very special goals. And it was free kick was fantastic. But also, before I let you guys talk about it, I want to sound my voice. It was also the first big test for Super Frankie Lampard, and he came unstuck.
Was it?
It was the first big test.
They brushed aside Sunderland a couple of games ago, which you thought would be a tough test for them. But
Sunderland's, they were off the boil. They sort of hit a mini wobble, which has seen them drop out of the automatic promotion race.
Yeah,
which I think is a fair assumption to make. Sunderland fans, please don't get angry. I'm just stating the obvious. I did say you'd run out of steam, didn't I? Oh, who's right now? Still a good team, Sunderland. But yeah, that game, Sheffield United, Cov. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think for Sheffield United playing on the Friday before Leeds, before Burnley, and getting that win, it really applies the pressure, doesn't it?
Gives you a psychological edge.
It does. And as you said, what a way to do it as well. It was just comfortable for them. And the ramifications, as I say, for the playoffs, it kind of opens up that 5th spot again for one of the teams outside the playoffs, doesn't it? Coventry aren't set in the playoffs. Fantastic game to kick off the weekend, minor.
I mean, Sheffield United fans will obviously be buzzing with the win, and
top of the table as well.
Leeds are, as they say, falling apart again.
Hold this bottom, Leeds fans.
Yeah, but obviously Sheffield United fans will be buzzing. Obviously 3 goals ahead, and then the late goal for Coventry. But the fact that they were third a few weeks ago and now they're first shows that within the late weeks of the season, anyone can now push for the title.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was penalty saving and all that as well, wasn't there?
There was indeed. But I don't want to talk about that game too much more.
Was that? Am I making that?
No, that wasn't the penalty save, but we did see a keeper go off. So I can't remember what's the name of the Coventry keeper. Oliver Dobin. So actually, it was he wasn't having the best game. One person that did have a really good game, Rhian Brewster, and he's coming for a lot of stick because obviously he moved for a ton of money and he hasn't really repaid it. But that was probably one of his best performances I've seen for a long time. But Gaff Films doesn't exactly negate like the massive fee that he went for. The keeper had a really bad one. I think.
Where did he come from? So
he came from Liverpool. He was a Swansea.
New Zealand Lion.
Yeah.
And he's just not had that potential in him just flourish, really, has he?
No, he really hasn't. He's had a lot of injuries as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were mixing up the keeper stuff because the keeper went off. Oliver Dobin, he was messing around with it. Well, he was not really sensible. Messing around with it, Tyrese Campbell caught him. You see that in slow motion, and you're just thinking, You hold your own knee because the way it sort of buckled, you had to stretch it off. But the damage was already done at that point. Game was already won for Sheffield United, and that was it really. And Bredoni just getting a consolation goal at the end of the day.
How do you think that affects Coventry going forward in the running?
We need to see how they do the next game. We need to see how the next game goes.
Burnley at home.
Burnley at home, yeah, that's what we were talking about last time, weren't we? We were saying this is where it really starts for Coventry now, because they had Sheffield United and Burnley, and that's the acid test for Frank Lampard to see if they do have the playoff chops, see if Frank Lampard has the tactical nous to win these games, to navigate through them. And I think Burnley's going to be a completely different proposition from Sheffield United.
The remainder of their games this season are either relegation form teams that could still stay up, like Plymouth, Luton and Hull. And then you have, obviously, Burnley, an informed Portsmouth, and then promotion challengers like West Brom, playoff challengers like West Brom and Middlesbrough. So it all depends on mindset at this point for every team in the league that's battling for something.
You don't want to come up against the relegation teams at this point, because they actually hit playoff / automatic promotion form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we say, as Luton fans, we're actually doing what we need to do, but every other team's doing exactly the same. It's not really a team down there which isn't picking up points at the moment, is it?
Yeah. Like, if you want to
look at Oxford, they're probably the team which are in the worst form at the moment.
Yeah.
We thought they were safe quite some time ago, but
yes,
gone on a bit of a skiddy run, and they could get dragged into it. And if they carry on the way
they are dragged into it. They are fully dragged into it. Like, you want to be playing the teams that are sort of in the wedge in the middle, where they're too far gone to hit the playoffs and too many points on the board to have threat of relegation, because those people, they're on the beach. And one of those teams that I thought was there was Norwich. And
I was going to go somewhere else.
You were going to go somewhere else. We'll talk about Norwich and West Brom, because there's not too much to talk about there. I was saying in the match preview show with Ryman, subscribe to our channel. I said Norwich, they're done for the season. Hofbauer's probably going to get sacked. They're too far away from the playoffs. I still think it's a bit too much to do to get into the playoffs. But again, I do like a nice counter-attacking goal. And that was tidy from Josh Sargent.
Beautiful, wasn't it? Yeah. And the through ball on the outside of the boot from Nunes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just split the two defenders, and Josh Sargent, who is going to be crucial for him. I mean, he's shown since he's come back from injury that
he's got
the boy can score.
He's got to go in the sun.
He's American.
Yeah, he's American. I know he's a good player. Yeah, but he's not good enough for the Premier League. But he could do it like in European leagues, I reckon.
Do we think that he'll go ahead of Borja Signs in the goal scoring tally and take away that golden boot?
How many is Sargent on?
Sargent's on 13. Signs
Oh, yeah.
17.
Absolutely.
17.
Yeah, I reckon. Well, he's not going to get the golden boot. I don't know. Who's the top? Well, the signing's still wow. So we were discussing last time, weren't we?
Is it
Latte Lav?
Latte Lav?
Well, he's not adding to it, is he?
No. The thing, like, he was the person that was, scoring the goals and challenging Borja Signs.
Yeah.
But then he disappeared. So there's not really been anyone who's. I think we spoke about it last time. There's not been an out-and-out striker banging in the goals until Josh Sargent.
Yeah, you've got Callum Robinson sitting like third or fourth with 12 goals.
Like Josh Maja for West Brom, he started on fire at the beginning of the season, but
he's sort of obscured now. Like West Brom, if they're serious about the playoffs, got to win those games. I didn't have them pegged for losing that game.
No, and I said it was. Though that playoff, there was teams which were really on the fringe who had to win. Middlesbrough, Norwich, they did win. Teams like West Brom had to not lose. They did lose. Bristol City, really. I mean, I know they're still there, and obviously coming up against, Burnley's always going to be a tough shout, but it just brings more players in. It's exciting, isn't it? It's always exciting when we fight for those last two playing spots.
Yeah. So. But we might as well talk about Bristol City Burnley then, because Bristol
Bristol City got twined.
Yeah. Love that. They really did.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a free kick.
It was pinpoint, wasn't it? Like, it wasn't quite top bins, it was a little bit, but it was just just out of the keeper's hit. It was great.
Vital win for Burnley in the hunt.
Yeah.
The top two really puts them in a great position. Especially as Leeds are sort of falling apart. I can't remember with this one. Were Leeds 2 up?
No, it was 1-0, 1-0, 2-1 in the 84th, 86th minute.
Yeah, 85th. Nonto comes on, scores, takes his shirt off. They think they've won the match.
Bit of a wild celebration for the 85th minute, wasn't it? You know.
Oh, but the real issue here, I think, if Leeds fail to get promoted automatically, it falls solely on Ilhan Melia. So he saves a pen, great pen save.
Yeah.
But then drops 2 clients. Well, he literally, the first one, dropped it at Harry Darland's feet.
Yeah.
And then the second one...
And it wasn't exactly the corner that come in. It wasn't like he had to... It was hit.
It was like right on top of him. He brings it down, drops it.
He doesn't go for the... It's almost like he harries it down. It's a bit weird.
And then, I think
the second
goal
next
was
one
clamorous
went straight under him.
That was clamorous throughout Leeds. They had the throw-in. And I don't know who it was, but you didn't control it. It just bounced off his shins, didn't it? And then there was a little bit of a tussle, went through, and then, there's time straight for the keeper letting it go between his legs, and then...
The only thing standing between Leeds and automatic promotion is Ilhan Melia.
Yeah.
Did you see the petition that the fans started to get him kicked out of the club?
Oh, Twitter, what a wonderful place. I'm guessing that was Twitter, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it was everywhere. I saw it on TikTok and YouTube.
What's a TikTok?
It's the sound of cocknets.
But yeah, I mean, you can see the frustration in the defenders as well when that went in. They just, you can't believe it's happened again and again and again and again.
Haven't they got another keeper? Just put the other keeper in.
Yeah, it's entertainment purposes, isn't it?
It makes it a challenge. Genuinely, I think if they fail to get promoted automatically, they got to point fingers solely at the keeper. And he was being touted around in the Premier League for like big money. But it really does change the automatic promotion picture. And I actually said it in our final table prediction, which we recorded during the international break. So check that out on our channel. It'll be in the description below. I actually said Sheffield United and Burnley will finish first and second. And I said Leeds would drop to the playoffs. So it's looking like
the one thing that Leeds may have on their side is that I believe Burnley and Sheffield United still have to play each other.
Yeah, but Leeds have to play Luton next.
Yeah, so they'll go back to the top of the table. So I think I'm right in saying that Burnley have to play Sheffield United, which, I mean, that could be deciding who goes up or that a team who's highest that. So
yeah, it's interesting that the relegation teams. I don't know what the run it is for Sheffield United and Burnley, but if they have to play teams at the bottom that are picking up form now, like Leeds do, it could be very interesting in terms of the automatics being decided by teams who are fighting to stay in the league.
Yeah. Leeds will probably aim for the final day as Plymouth away.
Oh,
they could be, because they will be down by then.
Yeah, it's not like they've got to put a showing on their goal difference. We beat Plymouth 15-0 to hit 100 goal difference.
Yeah, they've got a goal difference on their side as well, haven't they? So, I mean, it's kind
of like an extra point, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it could all come down to the -2 points from Sheffield United. I mean, I think Sheffield United are up. I just think they've got the form, and they just don't seem like they're going to lose, do they?
No, they really don't. They're very tough to beat. But let's have a look at the relegation battle now and say Cardiff.
I was
go on, Edge.
You was talking about relegation teams wanting to play those middle of the pack teams, and one team that got that was Stoke.
Yeah,
I 3-1 against QPR. I mean, I think QPR are on holiday already, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Good selection of goals though from Stoke. I think pick of them was Manhoff, rounding the keeper.
Yeah.
Very tidy finish.
Yeah, hesitation from the keeper, and he was coming, then he stopped, and it just gave him the opportunity just to make his own mind up, take it around, put it in the back to the net.
Yeah, his mind's in flip flops. Can't dash on.
No, you can't. So yeah, I mean that is a massive result, isn't it?
Yeah, they needed the win because if they hadn't, like with all the other teams around them, they would have been right in the mire.
Yeah, it would have been one.
With their games as well, with Luton at home, Cardiff away, and Derby away, we need to be picking up points in those other games, and obviously the key games of the relegation battle, just so the pressure's not as much on.
Yeah.
The rest of those teams that you mentioned, they'll be fine. They'll be fighting.
Yeah,
they really will. Like Derby, Cardiff's, the Lutons. Like they need wins. They all need wins. Like, they like to keep it. They don't. You know.
I mean, all the results which came over across the weekend, it puts a lot of pressure on Derby midweek, doesn't it? You know, when they play against Preston.
But Derby, 3 back-to-back wins. Eustace has worked his magic. He's made a hard unit of a team that's difficult to beat.
Yeah.
And obviously, we can't cover it because this will be released on Sunday, and that game is happening on Wednesday. But we hope
Derby wouldn't want that gap either, wouldn't they? Wouldn't want to be seeing the other teams playing and taking away that momentum. Do you think with the international break, it'll be 2.5 weeks since they last played?
Well, it's like Sheffield United playing first. It puts the onus on the teams that are chasing them, whereas Derby, this is going to fester for a while.
Yeah.
And I think they're watching Preston play in the FA Cup.
Yes.
So, yeah. So it depends what Preston turn up, because Preston might be buoyed by the FA Cup run if they manage to make it through. I don't know who they're playing. Villa.
Yeah.
If they get dumped out of the cup, then there'll be a hangover. Whereas we saw this with Plymouth. As soon as Plymouth got dumped out of the cup, their form went off the cliff, because it seemed like the cup form and the cup run was the only thing that was really giving them impetus and getting them amped up.
Yeah.
And they got a 0-0 against Watford. I thought it was a very boring game. Watford should have won that.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Very should.
Plymouth only had one chance. Connor Hazard again. Tremendous. Like when Plymouth go down, I think there'll be many suitors for Connor Hazard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been a sort. I mean, they said when you face more shots, you're in the limelight more, but you need to make the saves as well. And I think he's been a star for them. It's obviously he's going to go down. You can't guarantee it, but it'll be on the move, won't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Following in the footsteps of Michael Cooper. Hopefully not to Sheffield United. Hopefully he's one I've covered for a long time. Hell of a player. He's really stepped into filled those gloves. That's the pun for keepers. Elsewhere at the bottom of the table, well, Oxford are getting sucked into it.
There's a lot of teams that went ahead.
Yeah.
And ended up not getting the wins.
We were panicking. When the game was
played 3 games, all scored pretty much within a couple of minutes, and you think, as a Luton fan, come on, give us a break. I say Cardiff going 1-0 up against Wednesday, Oxford going 1-0 up against Middlesbrough. Obviously Stoke went up and they got their win, but
it could have been so much worse.
Yeah,
from an unbiased perspective.
Yeah,
it could have been so much worse for certain teams in the relegation zone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Cardiff. They've been in a lot of tight games. A couple of tight defeats. Luton, Burnley, but they're picking up points as well, aren't they? So they got obviously the draw against. I mean, it's another comeback from Sheffield Wednesday. I know the game before they came back, and obviously they got a point again.
Yeah. Yes.
Running out of steam a bit.
Yeah. I think the Steel City Derby loss was kind of the last nail in the coffin for them.
Yeah.
Good header though, with Hickway. I think it was a Hickway.
Yeah.
Towering header.
Yeah.
Cardiff's goal was tidy. The way Isaac Davies just sort of drifted in, had a shot. He's a player that has really impressed me. I think he's a young lad as well.
Yeah.
Coming to the team, really stamped his authority there. And he could be on the move, especially if Cardiff do find themselves going down. But he looks all right talent with a kite.
Yeah, it was he just wrong foot the keeper, didn't it? You know, it wasn't the most powerful shot, a bit of a daisy cut, wasn't it, in the end, but just wrong foot the keeper and just nestled it.
Keeper was miles away.
Yeah, he was going that way, wasn't he? He just couldn't react to it. So another valuable point for Cardiff, but again, you know, they'll be really disappointed they didn't get free.
Yeah, a vital 6-pointer in the relegation battle. Luton travelling to Hull, winning 1-0.
You mentioned it earlier, it's beating the teams around you, isn't it? Luton seem to be able to do that at the moment. You know,
Cardiff. Yeah. Beat Cardiff. Beat Stoke earlier. Beat Hull. Yeah. And Luton had more games against those teams coming up as well. You know, the likes of Stoke and
Derby,
got to win those games.
I mean, we saw a couple of fantastic free kicks, and we just spoke about Cardiff's tidy finish as well. Luton's goal was something else. Spectacular.
Goal of the season contender.
It's gonna make the highlight reel, isn't it?
Comedy goal of the season contender. I think, you know, I'll be honest, you know, as a Luton fan, first half was majorly underwhelming. I wasn't looking forward to that second half as well. And, you know, 15 seconds in, it completely changes. And it affected Hull. But Hull just didn't have the same momentum as they did finishing the first half. And, you know, I think, you know, Luton did well to hang on. It wasn't pretty, but you need to win those games when you're down in the bottom. And
I must say that the way in which the goal came from the kickoffs, it seems like everyone's doing that kickoff tactic nowadays.
What is that even
I don't know.
Was that like when the second half stops the ball?
It's passed back and the keeper will just launch it long, and 99% of the time it'll either end up with the opposition or go out for a throw-in.
It's like 90s football. That's the way. Like, you get it away from your goal as soon as possible.
It's going to non-league teams. They're doing it now, and it's like, no, it never. Other than the one time that it does work, Bournemouth did it a few years ago, and ever since then it's just become massive, and everyone's doing it. And
it's off the training pitches from St George's Park.
Yeah, it was.
My party.
Stoke. Who was the keeper for Stoke? Begovic.
Yeah,
he just launched it, and it got a bit of wind behind it. Just bounced over the keeper.
I think you'll find as world record holder Asmir Begovic for the longest outfield goal in football. Longest open play goal in football. And there's no asterisks on that either. No, not for wind assistance. It's purely a record that he holds, and he should be delighted that no one's ever taken that from him. Unless someone plays on a much bigger pitch. I guess we'll see. Right, elsewhere in the relegation battle, we said Oxford are getting sucked into it. Portsmouth, I would say, are pulling away. Yeah. It was a tremendous win against one of those teams that are on the beach. And speaking of being on the beach, it looks like Hawley Woodrow is playing in sand most of the time. Like, you had to go from quite far out.
45 yards out.
You had to go from 45 yards out. Did you see the way he bodied the Portsmouth player before he even went into that? So he just bodied him. Just like,
he used his body strength.
What body strength?
Exactly. So, and he wins a ball like that. You've got to give it to him, haven't you? You can't penalise him for putting his body around for once. But there's not many words you can really use to describe Blackburn at the moment, is there?
Yeah, there's one word: abject. That's terrible. Yeah. They're terrible. A good goal from Jacob Murphy, though. I think Pompey could have gotten a bit more for the jugular. Jacob or Josh Albert.
He was in so much space, wasn't he, Murphy? He had the ball in it. He just had all the time in the world just to pass it into the bottom corner.
But don't take away from the interplay.
No, that was
that. But Blackburn was putting feet in, but it was still very integral one-touch play from Pompey to figure out the chance. It sounds like someone's having a raid outside.
Sunday mornings in Luton.
Copy, okay.
Yeah. Wow.
That's on a proper boombox, man. I thought I was in a car. No, that's on a boombox.
Wow. Yeah, have a drink, Bree.
Someone started at 9 o'clock last night and haven't stopped. Blackburn's last 4 results. Because you told me last time.
Yeah, let's pull those up.
Just add another one into it.
Oh god, that is horrendous. They lost to Derby, they lost to Stoke, they lost to Cardiff, now they lost to Pompey. They are absolutely disgraceful. And they got Borough next, Sheffield Wednesday, then Luton. Wow.
They're the team that you want to be playing if you're in the lower half.
Hey, they could be going down.
Well, in the final table prediction video, like and subscribe. It's in the description of the video. I actually put Blackburn 15th because I think they're going to choke so badly this season. Like, they have taken their foot way off the gas, and Eustace leaving them it looked like they were doing all right because they're back-to-back wins, and then it's like bolt to the brain, and now they're just struggling so badly. And it's absolutely crazy. And they got Ohashi back as well, so you kind of expect them to do a bit more, but Ohashi can't really do it all by himself, so I think that's fair. Anything we've missed from this list going around, I don't think we have. It's interesting, and the playoff picture really does open up a little bit more now. Those 2 spots. Oh yeah, Sunderland, Millwall. Talking about the playoffs. Millwall are getting playoffs, but they're steady Eddie. You know, maybe under Alex Neil they have a go in the playoffs for the playoffs next season. Sunderland, I'm glad they're back in form, grinding out those wins. Luke O'Neill missed a penalty.
That was the game where there's a missed penalty on it, yeah.
Yeah. And
red and white stripes, it's easy to get confused.
Yeah, well, there was another penalty miss as well in the Leeds game as well. Swansea missed a pen. But yeah, in this one, I don't know why you're having your centre-half taking the pens. Maybe he's a tremendous penalty taker, like Harry Maguire. I don't know. But at the end of the day, Sunderland needed to get back on the horse because they've been relatively flaky in terms of They lost ground.
Yes.
They lost ground. You know, we were saying, you can't lose grounds. You lose 1 game in 5 in the automatic promotion push, you're going to struggle. You lose 2 in 5, and you're done. You're cooked.
Yeah.
And in the last 8 or so, they've lost 3 times. That's too many points. Dropping 9 points up against the likes of Sheffield United, Burnley, and Leeds. You're done.
Yeah.
But the main thing, and we said it last time, you have to make sure you maintain some sort of momentum that you can carry into the playoffs, because otherwise you're going to get rolled over by a team coming in fully with momentum in the playoffs, especially in the 2 late playoffs.
Yeah, that is what it is for Sunderland now. Is you kind of come to terms with automatic is out of the question. Now you just need to continue picking up points, putting performances, and just being ready for the playoffs.
Mentality wise, it's massive for a team like that, just to stay focused and not lose that inspiration, because you don't even know who you're playing at this point with the playoffs how it is. It's like 3 teams on 57 points.
Who went up last season? What position were they in? It was one of the playoffs.
They were 3rd or 4th. The Leeds were 3rd.
Leeds was 3rd. Yeah. It's not very often that 3rd place goes up, isn't it? Because
except for Luton season before.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say, but because there was a run back in the early 2000s, wasn't it, where the 6th place were getting promoted constantly
because they come in with the form. Yeah, but the upcoming games for Sunderland, I think, are going to be very important in terms of keeping momentum together, because they're playing teams who are all chasing something, with the exception of Swansea, who are pretty much safe from relegation. They're not getting promoted, but they got West Brom, Norwich, who I think they're done, but they might internally think they still have a chance. They're
only 5 points. There's 3 teams on 52.
Yeah.
And 57 is 6th place.
And 7 games left to play, so 21 points to go. If you hit a run...
21 points to go.
So solid for a joke.
Solid crew.
Yeah, they're playing teams in and around... Like, I think the Bristol City one will be very telling about where they're at in terms of retaining the momentum. It's very important. And, I think it'd be a wonderful story if something did go up in the third season in the Championship. it'd be nice for their fans because they've been on a right old journey, haven't they? And Southampton, Sunderland are a massive, massive team. What's their capacity? 50,000?
Yeah.
Massive. But the reality is football games are won and lost on the pitch, not on how big your stadium is. Yeah.
MK doesn't like that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, how many do they get in their stadium? Like 2,000?
Their average attendance is 6,200.
Oh, that's higher than I thought.
Have you seen Bradford's average attendance this season? They're 17,000, 18,000.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. Well, they're doing all right.
They've always had a big stadium. Obviously, ex-Premier League.
Yeah,
game,
last season in the Prem.
Yeah, but I mean, for League Two, they are doing like that. I think they're second on goal difference. So, but that's League Two.
Yeah, one club City. But don't worry, we'll do a League Two show where we're relegated to that couple of seasons. Yeah, hold your horses. Yeah, that's us done for this week. Thanks for joining us, Olly. Appreciate it.
Cheers for having me.
And thank you. You're here every week.
Yeah,
I'm reusing jokes. I'm reusing the jokes from the Luton Town show. As always, thanks for having us, Bricklayers Arms, the award-winning Bricklayers Arms. If you're in Luton and you're looking for something to do and you want to be close to the station, just don't come in here on a match day if you're not a Luton fan. Bricklayers Arms, good beer. Tie one on before you go on a long journey up the country or down the country, wherever you're going.
Bedford or Brighton from Luton, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you're going out to Bedford, going down to Brighton, tie one on at the local pub. Great beer on tap. Also, a big thank you to Black Certification and Carry On for the toys on the table that help us do this podcast. And check out the record shop in Amersham. If you collect vinyl, that is the place you want to go. And if you mention the OK Football Show, you will get a discount. Hopefully, I think so. Just be nice about it. Don't complain in the comments when you say, "Oh, I didn't get a discount." Just mention us, and you will get a discount. But that's us done. And everyone, have a great week.
See you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.